Unmute me!
Listen to me, you whining little whelp.
From the Gettysburg Tour Studio.
Hey everyone, it's Cameron.
Shut up!
You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg Today.
There's no time. Hello, exactly.
I've never heard of that. Put that on a t-shirt. Holy hell. I think I ordered that at the Hofbräu House last week. I'm not... Oh my God, they're taking this out. Oh, it's so unnatural, and this is going to look horrible, and this is bad, and how can they do it? That looks slippery, and this looks bad, and that's a bad color, and oh my God.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Addressing Gettysburg Today. It is today, as it is every day. What is it? The 28th of October. It's almost over.
Halloween.
It's almost Halloween. And we have a spooky treat for you today, don't we? 2 spooky treats. But we'll get to those in a second. How you doing, Ronan?
I'm doing well, Matt, but I've quickly realized I give you way too much material for the stupid intros.
You do. You speak so eloquently sometimes, and I just have to put it. I mean, this is the stuff that I can fit on the board. I only have so many slots, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think I need to go through some of the old ones and switch them out a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a lot of things.
So much material to work with.
Oh my God, so much, so
You're
much.
welcome.
You're right. Thank you very much. Eric, how are you doing over there?
I'm not here.
He's not here. Eric's not here, but he is here. He is here. His final show.
That was a really nice surprise, yeah.
Yes, it is. This is his final show. Last week he said probably that was his final show, but then in the meantime I said, hey, could you just do one more? Because we have 2 guests.
And while you're at it, sit in the corner. Because you're in timeout.
Yeah, Eric. So, this is your punishment for leaving. Eric doesn't like. I moved the. So when we set this whole thing up, I wanted his section to look like that. His station to look like that. Eric, go to camera 3 so people can see what we're talking about, if you don't mind. There's Cody Asian Pete Neely.
My ass through Cody.
And so there's Eric in the corner there, and the reason for that was
this is me, just in case you didn't know.
And the reason for that was because I wanted the engineer, the producer, whatever, to focus on switching cameras and all that stuff, right? And so I figure if I have them facing the other way, it's going to be harder for them to, be a part of the show the whole time. But then Eric is part of the show, and he was like, I don't like this. And I said, okay, fine, it makes better sense. He's like, I want to face everybody. And I was like, okay, all right, we'll turn it around. But now that Eric's leaving, his replacement is going to have to focus on running the show. And so that's why I moved. And then not only that, but we get more floor space. So, How? Well, when you're sitting there, there's less floor space. But when nobody's sitting there, you could get around a lot easier. So, anyway, next week it'll make more sense. And his replacement won't have the courage to complain.
Shit, you better hope.
Give him a couple weeks, he will. But yeah, the fall is moving along nice, and it's been a beautiful month, October. The weather has been mostly wonderful.
Yeah.
And now we're heading into November, which is the March of the fall. Shitty, unpredictable, stupid, cold, sometimes snow, rain, ugly. Leaves are going to be gone in a couple weeks. And then we sink into the ugliness of winter.
But
yes,
the leaves this year,
beautiful. And they're holding out.
Yeah, they are.
There's only a few trees that I'm noticing are bald, but all the rest of them are.
Yeah.
And it's nice because, I think that's bringing a lot of people to town. Town has been crazy busy on the weekends.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of activities going on, events and stuff, but I think a lot of day trippers are coming out too.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's good. Last fall was not nice.
It was not. We were talking about that. We actually had some errands running this afternoon. And we were out towards Musselman's, the greenhouse,
Yeah.
And when you drive out that way, it's just really pretty views on some of the hills and things like that. And Mom and I were kind of commenting, like last year,
it just
absolutely don't
remember
it.
It just fell off.
And and it just seemed like it went from like summer right to like winter.
Yes.
So it was rainy and yucky in between, from what I remember. And the colors were not nearly as. I mean, it is just gorgeous this year.
It is. I went up to Hollabaw's today. Yeah. And same thing. It's a really once you get out of Biglerville, it's a nice drive. A lot of nice vistas there, and stuff. And yeah, the colors are nice this time of year.
Yeah.
So you can't complain about that. We've got, let's see here. Let me make sure I don't skip over anything before I go and say what I was about to say. Yeah, okay. So we've got a lot going on today. Like I said before, it's Halloween. So later on in the show, Erik Dorr from the Gettysburg Museum of History is coming by, and I told him, bring 3 macabre items from your inventory of things to see at the museum. And he wrote back, are human remains okay? And I said, preferred. So I don't know what he's bringing, though, so we'll see. He's going to bring some cool stuff later on. And then first we're going to, after the break, we're going to get to our friends over at the Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center, Cody Aish, Pete Mealy. And Rob, are you going to participate, or are you going to just pretend to be like a Shrinking Violent?
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
Oh, so you don't get fined. And I think I had a slip of the tongue and said shrinking violent. I meant violet. But yeah. So after the break, we'll get to them. In fact, we've got so much, and we are under time constraints, so we are going to go right to the break in just a minute here. Cam texted me before, and he goes, "Hey, what time is the show tonight?" And I answered, what time is it always? It's always the same time. 5 o'clock on Fridays or Thursdays when me or Veronica have something to do on Friday. And
5 o'clock, nonetheless.
But always 5 o'clock. Right. It's drive time-ish, sort of. It's more drive time than drive time. So he didn't answer me. He just said whatever he wanted to say. And I was doing stuff, so I didn't catch it when it was all coming in. And then he was like, 5:30, right? And I go, nope, it's always 5, Cameron. It's always 5. And he goes, oh, shoot. I got something for the show I want to give you. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. So show up when you do and whatever. But I'm not going to hold up the damn show for you to come up with probably a gorilla mask or what, I mean.
Something Halloweenish, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get to Cam if he ever shows up. But we've got more important guests to deal with today, and we're going to do that. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back, and we will talk to the guys from the Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center. And I don't know what we're going to talk about, so we'll see. We'll be right back.
Want to be on the show? Send an email to info@addressinggettysburg.com. Be sure to include the reason why you think you'd make a good guest when you write us.
But that's it. You hit the nail on the head.
Marching home again, hurrah, hurrah. We'll give them a hearty welcome then,
filmmaking for this audience. An established Texas filmmaker, Bo has held the lead and supporting roles in television and film, including the 1993 film Gettysburg and its prequel Gods and Generals. Bo has written, produced, and directed several films, often drawing his characters and storylines from his ensemble of intricate comical and emotional family tales. The Last Mark, The Bay House, and Last Man Club are among his collection, with the latter winning Best of Show, Best of Picture, Best of Film, Best Narrative Feature, and Best Dramatic Feature. Now, 30 years after the release of Gettysburg, Bo returns to the same town for his next film, A Gettysburg Christmas, and he is looking forward to your assistance in bringing the film to life. Just go to GoFundMe.com and search for A Gettysburg Christmas, or click the link in the show notes and choose your level of support.
Think outside the bus and let family-owned Gettysburg Tours take you on a cycling journey across the picturesque and historic Gettysburg battlefield. There's no better way than by bicycle to gain a feel for the terrain of the battlefield. Slow enough to see it all, yet fast enough to do it all. Follow the route of Union troops entering the fray as you ride to the site of the first shots of this epic 3-day battle. Feel the drama as you put yourself in the position of a Confederate soldier just before he steps off to make Pickett's charge. Take a stand with the heroic Colonel Chamberlain on the slopes of Little Round Top, just before you view the fields of honor beneath you from its summit. All of our guides are officially licensed by the National Park Service. So don't get a sore neck trying to see out of your car, and saddle up with Gettysburg Tours for a 360-degree view of America's most important piece of real estate. Gettysburg Tours. Think outside the bus. Go to gettysburg.com or call 717-752-7752 to book a battlefield experience you will never forget.
You've heard us promote various ways that you can help us keep the show going, but one way we haven't pushed too much is our sutlery at addressinggettysburg.com/shop. That's a shame because we have designs over there by talented artists like Ty DeWitt of 1863 Designs and Mike Stretch of the Heritage Depot. So now we're promoting it. Buying shirts, hoodies, mugs, and other items from our sutlery not only helps us keep the lights on, but it also helps guys like Ty and Mike, and it helps spread the word about the show every time you wear an item or you sip from your mug. So head over to addressinggettysburg.com/shop and grab some merch. It's the perfect Christmas gift for the Gettys nerd in your family. That's addressinggettysburg.com/shop.
Have you noticed our revamped website at addressinggettysburg.com? Well, that's the fine work of a man named Mike Stretch, and he also redid our logo for us. Both of them I originally designed, and both of them were originally horrible, but now they're nice, and that's all thanks to Mike. Mike has an awesome t-shirt company called Heritage Depot. There you'll find great designs based on Gettysburg and the Civil War with t-shirts and other types of merchandise. So go to heritage-depot.com and spruce up your Gettys Nerd wardrobe. That's heritage-depot.com. Our favorite bookstore in Gettysburg is For the Historian, located at 42 York Street. It's because they have the best selection of Civil War books in Gettysburg, both new and used. And online, they have even more to choose from. And if the Civil War isn't your thing, that's not a problem. This is For the Historian, after all. They cover history from the ancient world to the 21st century with a strong selection of World War II and American Revolution books. It's astounding how many thousands of titles from Osprey, Savas Beatty, UNC Press, and more they have in their store. And that's because, well, they have a warehouse too. And that's where they keep all the books that are available online at forthehistorian.com. And folks, if you go to forthehistorian.com now and order books until you're blue in the face, be sure you mention that you heard about them on Addressing Gettysburg in the Note to Seller box, and they will refund your shipping costs. And if you prefer to stop by when you're in town, well, you could do that too. Just mention Addressing Gettysburg at checkout, and they'll take 20% off the retail price of your item. So go to forthehistorian.com, or stop by 42 York Street, or you can call them at 717-685-5207. That's forthehistorian.com or 717-685-5207.
You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
You're back with Cam's Idol.
That was years ago.
Here's Matt.
All right, so we are back. And we've got, at the microphones, we've got Pete Mealy and Cody Aish, and then sitting in the corner, we got Rob Williams. Rob, how you doing over there?
It's where he belongs.
You gotta speak, Robbie. Nobody sees you waving. What'd you say?
It's where he belongs.
Yeah, in the corner. Wow. That was Pete Mealy, shot across the bow as soon as he starts. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Not bad.
Good. It's good to see you. First time in here, I think, right? For both of you.
I was here once. And I was here last year. First time together.
Yeah, together. Okay, good. It's not that you're not memorable. It's just like there are a lot of people that come in here, so it's hard to keep track.
A lot of people look like us.
Yeah. Oh, yes, of course. So what's going on? Tell us. You guys have been a sponsor of the show for a few months now. Tell us what is going on coming up in November and the winter at large, perhaps, at the museum.
Something's going on? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm asking you.
No, so next Wednesday and Thursday, got that right? Yeah. Okay. We are hosting our second annual 24 Hours on the Ridge, where we will keep the museum open for a full 24 hours.
Yes.
5 o'clock on November 2nd through 5 o'clock on November 3rd. And it's a fundraiser for the museum. It's part of the Adams County Community Foundation's Giving Spree. And, last year when we came up with the idea, it was like late August. So we had, 2 months to plan. And this year we've had a little bit more, not too much, but it's going to be chock full. And I'll kick it over to Cody to talk a little bit about what we have going on.
Yeah, so what do people get to do when they go there? Just go in and drop money in a box and say goodnight? Or do they actually get to do something?
So preferably that, and then they get to not only tour the museum at all hours of the night, so if you'd like to be in a 190-year-old building at 3 o'clock in the morning, now is your opportunity to do that.
Who wouldn't?
But also some tours, some interpretive programs, some guest speakers, film screenings. After
Guest speakers. Who are the guest speakers?
So we have Jim Hessler and Britt Eisenberg. We have Carolyn Ivanov. We have Rick Schroeder. We have Brad Gottfried.
Oh, very nice.
Pete and I will both be speaking. So
The afterthoughts. We need to fill some time. Yeah.
The afterthoughts. And how long? So it's 24 hours, right?
Yep.
I mean, so it's your normal work hours or business hours, and then you're staying open overnight. Now, are the speakers all throughout the night? I mean, that sounds crazy, right?
So we'll have speakers in the evening and then through Thursday. But we do have some overnight speakers. So I'm going to be doing a midnight talk on Gettysburg connections to the films Lincoln and Lincoln Vampire Hunter. And then it's going to be followed by screenings of those films in the museum galleries. Rob is doing a talk on astronomy in the Civil War at 4 o'clock. A.M. So
A.M.
A.M. Yeah.
Oh my God! Now wait a second. No,
we
but
gave him the prime spot. The coveted Fordham.
So wait a second. Hold on a second. Rob, what if nobody shows up at 4 a.m.? Oh, you want that to happen?
We'll all be better off.
What and you're doing it on astronomy, but that sounds so interesting. You couldn't get a better time slot, huh?
Well, it doesn't work as well during the day.
Oh, you have to be able to see. So is it going to be outside?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, okay.
Generally speaking.
Well, that's pretty neat. Eric and I did it last year, and we muddled through. We got through, man. I'm an old man. I was ready for bed at like 11. And so it was tough. But, what was great was we watched Gettysburg at midnight. It started at midnight and went till about 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And we were so, slap happy that we just sat up there making fun of the movie, which we love, of course, and that's why we're making fun of it. We mock what we love, in this group at least. That's true. And so that it was pretty neat. And when we had what I thought was cool was we had the whole place to ourselves. It was me, Eric, and a few listeners that had showed up, and 6 Questions Lens, and yeah. Now this time I'm going to bring a cot.
Mm-hmm.
And just in case.
Do you remember what we watched after Gettysburg? We watched the first half hour of...
Wait. What did we watch? Eric, do you remember?
Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein, yes. So Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is one of them. Of course, Lincoln is going to be the first one that we see. And then Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is the next one.
Yeah.
Why?
Why not?
Why not?
That's my favorite answer to a question like that. But why? What's the thinking there?
Sure. So with Lincoln, Spielberg's Lincoln, November will be 10 years, believe it already, since it was released.
Really? Yeah.
And so there are a number of Gettysburg connections that we can make with that film, both in terms of people like Thaddeus Stevens and Edward McPherson.
Right.
Dan Sickles' lower right leg featured for a moment, gets a cameo.
That's right.
And then Lincoln Vampire Hunter, we just figured why not? A fun 2 a.m. film to show a couple days after Halloween.
Sure.
Yeah, but you do have a couple of Gettysburg connections in there as well, not least of which is that you can see what I believe to be the McPherson farm in the background, and there's a Gettysburg battle scene.
Right.
You have the Gettysburg Address, and kind of a fun connection is that John Rothman, who played John Reynolds in the movie Gettysburg, is Jefferson Davis in Vampire Hunter.
Interesting.
Fun, under the radar connection.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. Yes, I saw that movie once when it came out, and I was like, okay, whatever, But if I'm not mistaken, did the Confederates at Pickett's Charge turn into vampires? Is that what the...
Yeah, it's July 1st, but yeah, they're and the only reason I remember that is because there's a great sequence. It's my favorite line in the movie where it goes from Gettysburg back to the White House, and it's Lincoln and Mary Todd sitting at a table, and Lincoln says, "Well, they've just finished the first day of the Battle of Gettysburg." As if anyone knew there would be subsequent days.
Oh God. All right, so that's going to be fun, I think. And what time do the speakers start?
So it'll be
5:30. Rick Schroeder is going on, and then 5:30 basically through until 8:30. But if you're around at 8:30, you can come to our spirits tasting. Spirits of the drinking variety, not the haunting variety.
My favorite kind.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we're working with our friends at Mason-Dixon Distillery to host a exclusive spirits tasting in the attic of the museum.
Awesome.
So if you've been to the museum, you've been up to the cupola, you've walked through the attic, it is the most original part of the building. The interior of the building hasn't really been touched since 1832. So we're going to be up there, and Yanni is going to be slinging distilled spirits, and we're going to have some hors d'oeuvres, and the cupola will be open for part of it. So
like, go up to the cupola, stop on the way, have a few shots, and then go fall over.
Well,
that's what I'm
going to be
do.
monitored. The cupola is only going to be open for the first half hour of the hour long.
Okay.
So we gotta take care of our friends.
But there will be a few opportunities for cupola tours through the night. So we have
Good
sunset, midnight, and sunrise as well.
And if you go, folks, you gotta do this, because seeing the cupola in the dark, or going up to the cupola and looking out over everything in the dark, is neat. Because you can point out all the different towns from the cluster of lights that they make, because it's like blackness and then an island of light, and then blackness and then island of light, and you can point out Emmitsburg and all these cool little places. So
if someone wants to do that, do they have to plan in advance, or is it when they're there they just say we want to do
we do have registration. This is a fundraiser through the Giving Spree. Did I mention that already? So we're asking people to give what they can. Some of the experiences, because it's limited space, like the cupola tours and the spirits tasting, we're asking for a minimum donation. All the money's going to the museum. It's going to help us, take care of the building through the winter. Even though attendance to Gettysburg sometimes wanes in the winter, a lot of times wanes, we still have to keep the building standing, keep the building heated, keep the building protected. So this is what your donations go to. So you can go to our website, seminaryridgemuseum.org, and we have an events page there, and there's information on how to sign up.
Let's see. In January, we're planning to do a show from there. We're calling it A Night at the Museum. And we don't have all the details. I don't know if you noticed, there's not much original with this show, but we're going to do that. We don't have all the details worked out, but we're going to do that, and hopefully that will help raise a little bit of money for you guys too, and also a little bit for us. But so it's going to be an interesting winter, at least up until January 28th when we do our show. And then after that, God knows, right? You're on your own. But next week, we've got the thing on the 2nd, right? 2nd to the 3rd.
2nd to the
3rd. It basically starts after the museum closes, or
we just don't close the museum.
You just don't close. Yeah.
But it's really, the kickoff is going to be at 5:00, which is when we would normally close, but we're just going to go right on through.
You looking forward to it, or are you dreading it?
I'm looking forward to it right now. Around 2-3 o'clock in the morning, I probably won't be.
Yeah.
But no, it's
more than 24 hours for you guys then.
Yeah. Last year it was
72 hours.
Yeah, 27, I think, for me. I don't know about you. Probably about the same, right? Cody, by the way, this is his first 24 hours.
Yeah, you weren't there last year, were you?
I was in a wedding that week.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's getting married this year.
Nobody's getting married. Yeah.
So that was the last of your friends to get married off.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm going to, I'm going to try to nap during the day, and then get up and get in there around 7 or something. What? Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
Well,
are you going to try to go?
I can't.
You're
Why?
kidding.
I cannot. So starting Tuesday night through Friday, I am going to be in Harrisburg for a seminar. The JCJC, which I always forget what it stands for, but it's the Judges Juvenile committee on juvenile justice or something like that. So I'm out in Harrisburg. However, that lays a perfect segue for someone like me that can't be there. How can I support you guys? Is there an online way to do the giving spree? Or
well, thank you for asking. That's a great question. So the Adams County Community Foundation at 12:01 a.m. on November 3rd is going to open up their online giving portal. We are number 76. You have to put our code in, Seminary Ridge Historic Preservation Foundation, which is a mouthful.
It is.
But up to that point, there are physical donation forms that you can download from our website. Do we have one on our website? Yes. Yeah, we have it on our website or the Community Foundation's website, and you can print out the form and send a check into the Community Foundation. All of those forms that are mailed have to be there by November 3rd.
Okay, so there is a way to donate. And people can, I'm assuming people can donate all throughout the year, right? It doesn't just have to be during the giving spree.
No, we welcome donations and memberships all throughout the year. This is just a special day that we want to highlight.
Is there a perk or something? You guys get like matching funds? Isn't that part of
the giving spree? There is. They used to call it the stretch pool, and I should know what they call it this year. It's the extra give or something like that. But we get a percentage based on how much we get of the overall. It's sort of a little bit convoluted, but if the entire giving spree is $4 million, which is what they're going for this year, and we get 10,000 or 15,000, which is our goal, we'll get whatever percentage that is, whatever percentage 15,000 is of 4 million. We'll get that added on. So it does make sense to give through
now,
this. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Your dollar goes further.
Right. Now, shit, I lost my question. Oh, yeah. Okay. So now the giving spree is, what are the dates for the giving spree? Like the whole thing, not just yours. You're part of it.
November 3rd.
It's just the 3rd.
Day, yeah.
And the 3rd falls on a what? Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do you think I know like you're trying to do it with the giving spree, but if you did this on a Friday, do you think that you would be able to get a lot of people to come? Yeah. I did. And you can't do that? Or you don't?
Because all donations have to be in by the end of that day, by the end of November 3rd.
I would ask them, say, guys, can you do it on a Friday next year? Yeah.
They did it last year on a Friday. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't.
That was a Friday when we were there?
Yeah. It was a Thursday into Friday.
Thursday into no, but I'm saying yeah.
Yeah, so
it would be
you were
Saturday.
there.
Yeah.
The clock struck and you were.
And I was still there.
You were still there.
Still there,
Yeah.
man.
You didn't turn into a pumpkin.
No, I didn't. Well, I'm the size of a pumpkin in the middle, but But no, so this is going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to be tough going solo though. Erik, I don't know if you know, is leaving. So I'm going to and Veronica clearly.
And you were there last year for You did our candlelit tour.
Candlelight, yeah.
Which we're going to do again this year, except it's going to have a little twist where it's the displays are actually going to come to life.
That's really cool. I'm bummed that I'm missing it, to be 100% honest.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Since this is Halloween, I'm going to ask you a question that I normally would not entertain, but I'm in the spirit of the season.
With a smirk, he said it.
So you spend a lot of time there at the seminary. Have you ever seen a ghost?
Cody has.
Tell me, Cody.
Not.
No, you haven't?
But I haven't. We'll get every once and again a postcard or an email or something from visitors who, have photos with what they believe to be orbs or a story to go along with it. And consistently, we get the question of whether we are the building that Ghosts of Gettysburg in the 90s on History Channel featured, where the elevator went to the basement and it opened up and the hospital scene was displayed. But that was purportedly at Pennsylvania Hall at the college. Yeah, but that is a almost once a day question for us from visitors.
Really?
So yeah, that's a common one.
That's from the 90s. I remember that
People
show.
are familiar with that story. Yeah.
God.
And the easy answer is we didn't have an elevator until 2013.
See, but you should say yes.
Yeah.
You'd be like, yes, no, this is it. And for $15, you can ride in the elevator. And then you make a little money. So no, neither one of you. How about you, Rob? Have you ever had anything weird happen?
Can't say that I have.
No.
I've had a lot of weird things happen. I don't think about paranormal.
You have to be more specific.
Not unexplainable. Yeah. Okay. I gotcha. And okay, well that was pretty anticlimactic then. No ghost stories. No ghost anything.
I'll mention this though. Folks should stay tuned to our social media for something paranormal adjacent, a little fun thing that we filmed earlier today. So
yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing this because the thing you described to me, I just have to see. I don't want to give it away, but I just have a question. Were you wearing dresses?
We were wearing the same. So we had the
we
blue shirt.
Yeah.
And khakis,
We were holding hands.
We were holding hands.
I know. Yeah, it's got to be good. When does that come out?
Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah.
Hopefully Monday.
Monday.
Halloween. Yeah.
And that's what you have to go home and edit.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
So keep an eye on our Facebook, Insta, YouTube.
I'll actually be in the museum overnight tonight, finishing the filming of it. So I'll let you know if I experience anything weird.
So you're gonna, you're gonna finish the filming of it tonight, and alone? Yeah. What are you filming alone?
You'll see.
You'll have to wait and see.
Oh, okay, very good.
I want the lighting to be right.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You want the lighting to be right. Yeah. Okay, I can't wait to see this.
He's very particular.
Yeah. This is going to be great. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be great. All right, well, and I'm also looking forward to Hell Night. I call it Hell Night because for me, I'm old. But, I'm going to drink a lot of coffee this time. I'm going to break my coffee fast that, I haven't had it in like a year or so. Well, I had 1 cup in a year, but... Yeah, it's gonna be.
We will have refreshments. I'm sorry. We will have. We're getting like boxes of coffee like we did last year. Yeah,
good.
We need it.
Just save one for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
A box. Yeah. Well, good. All right. So good luck with that and everything. I know, Rob, you got to get back and do some editing there, and we've got our next guest. I'm sure he's waiting out in the parking lot, but if not, we'll just wait until he gets here. But I have to use the little boys' room. Drank a lot of water today. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming out. Good luck with everything.
Yep.
One more time. Email address?
SeminaryRidgeMuseum.org.
Oh, yeah. That's what I meant. Website. Yeah. Thank you. Go ahead and donate, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be right back.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Now would be a good time to get up and stretch. Blood clots are deadly. We'll be back.
Wanted to be a part of a movie production? Well, now is your chance. Hope Kelly is still struggling with heartache several years after her abrupt, life-changing decision to buy an apple farm outside the small town of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. But the loneliness of isolation gradually replaced the peace she initially found on the farm. Sent reeling when her fiancé left her for another woman before a previous Christmas, Hope has sworn off Christmas and relationships. But when her brother Ryan's old army buddy Nick shows up to the farm and is immediately taken with Hope, the temperature starts to rise. Still, it will take a Christmas miracle in the form of Charlie to help mend Hope's heart and allow her to trust again and find love. Join writer, producer, and director Bo Brinkman in the production of A Gettysburg Christmas with named talents like Jake Busey and Lee Majors. The script has tailored scenes to shoot at specific locations to highlight the beauty, history, and capture the Christmas spirit of Gettysburg with the goal of inspiring viewers to visit in droves. Those of you who have been wanting another movie to revitalize interest in visiting our awesome town have finally gotten your wish. And now you can be a part of getting this project off the ground. Bo and company are turning to you, the citizens of Gettysburg and the lovers of Gettysburg, to make this grassroots effort work. No Hollywood BS, just pure Christmas joy and romance. Just click the link in the show notes to get started or go to GoFundMe.com and search for A Gettysburg Christmas.
You've heard us promote various ways that you can help us keep the show going, but one way we haven't pushed too much is our sutlery at addressinggettysburg.com/shop. That's a shame because we have designs over there by talented artists like Ty DeWitt of 1863 Designs and Mike Stretch of the Heritage Depot. So now we're promoting it. Buying shirts, hoodies, mugs, and other items from our sutlery not only helps us keep the lights on, but it also helps guys like Ty and Mike, and it helps spread the word about the show every time you wear an item or you sip from your mug. So head over to addressinggettysburg.com/shop and grab some merch. It's the perfect Christmas gift for the Gettys nerd in your family. That's addressinggettysburg.com/shop.
Our favorite bookstore in Gettysburg is For the Historian, located at 42 York Street. Isn't it, Eric?
You're darn tootin', Matt.
It's because they have the best selection of Civil War books in Gettysburg, both new and used, and online they have even more books to choose from.
But Matthew, what if the Civil War is simply not my thing?
Not a problem, my fine four-fendered friend. This is For the Historian, after all. They cover history from the ancient world to the 21st century with a strong selection of World War II and American Revolution books.
It's astounding how they squeeze thousands of titles from Osprey, Savas Beatty, UNC Press, and more into their store.
And it's also astounding how you and I both squeeze into our pants every day. Well, handsome, they have a warehouse too, and that's where they keep all those books that are available online at forthehistorian.com. And folks, if you go to forthehistorian.com now and order books until you're blue in the face, be sure you mention that you heard about them on Addressing Gettysburg in the Note to Seller box, and they will refund your shipping costs.
What if I prefer to browse in the store and don't want to go online to get my book?
Great question, Doodlebug. Just mention Addressing Gettysburg at checkout, and they'll take 20% off the retail price of your item. So go to forthehistorian.com, stop by 42 York Street, or call 717-685-5207. That's forthehistorian.com or 717-685-5207.
Need a Corps badge or other insignia for your uniform? Then check out the Badge Maker. Here's what some of his satisfied customers had to say. Miranda said, "I ordered an identification disc from Joe and it's fantastic. He hand stamped it exactly as I wanted. It has a great rough on-campaign feel to it and was reasonably priced to boot." Greg said, "My unit has purchased from him in the past. Quality badges and good service." And Jerry S. says, "The Badge Maker is the go-to place for accurate replica Civil War badges. Visit CivilWarCorpsBadges.com and attach a message with your order saying you heard about him on Addressing Gettysburg."
Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center, Gettysburg's premier museum, is housed in the historic Lutheran Seminary building constructed in 1832, a witness to the first day of battle. The museum's 3 floors of exhibits connect visitors to the dilemmas that led to the Civil War, provide a powerful and personal view of the battle's first day, and explore one of the battlefield's largest hospitals. No visit to Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center is complete without a guided tour of the building's famous cupola, where on the eve of battle, officers and civilians saw thousands of Confederate soldiers' campfires burning to the west, and Brigadier General John Buford watched for vital federal reinforcements as fighting erupted on the morning of July 1st. Today, you can stand where Buford stood and discover how this view helped chart the course of the Battle of Gettysburg. Your trip to Gettysburg is not complete without a serious visit to Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center, Gettysburg's premier museum. Purchase tickets online at seminaryridgemuseum.org or call 717-339-1300. To get tickets or a cupola tour, listeners may call or walk in and mention Addressing Gettysburg, or by ordering online using the promo code AG1863 for 20% off. Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center. It began here.
There's a devil to pay.
This special episode of Addressing Gettysburg is brought to you in part by me, audiobook narrator Mike Scott. Narrator of Savas Beatty's Bloody Autumn, the Shenandoah Valley campaign of 1864, and Unlike Anything That Ever Floated, the Monitor and Virginia and the Battle of Hampton Roads. If you are an author or publisher interested in having your titles produced as audiobooks, or even just in learning more about the process, give me a shout. You can find my contact info on my website, MikeScottVoice.com. That's MikeScottVoice.com. Hey, historian, author, and licensed battlefield guide Tim Smith. Matt gave me a full minute, so let me ask you an important question. Isn't it about time that John Burns' Hero of Gettysburg became an audiobook? Sickles has an audiobook. You know Jenny Wade is going to deserve an audiobook. Let's give John a shot. Get in touch, Tim. It's MikeScottVoice.com. I'm Mike Scott, your voice of history.
And Civil War Trails. It's the world's largest open-air museum, and they offer over 1,300 sites across 6 states. Drive the Gettysburg campaign turn by turn, paddle to Frederick Douglass's birthplace, or hike to remote earthworks and artillery positions. Visit civilwartrails.org to request a brochure and explore their interactive map. Follow Civil War Trails and create some history of your own. Hey, Gettysburg business owners.
Winter is just around the bend, and you know what that means. No tourists. But just because people aren't coming to you doesn't mean you can't bring your business to them. If you ship, you're still in the game. And if you're a seasonal business, the time to advertise for your next season is in the off-season when people are making their plans. So what's an affordable yet highly effective way of reaching those people? Well, it's not radio. It's not TV, and it's certainly not print. Step out of the Jurassic era of advertising and run an ad on Addressing Gettysburg. We just reached 1 million downloads, and we're growing by the tens of thousands every month. Beyond that, our audience is happy to support those who support their favorite podcast. So email sales@addressinggettysburg for more information about advertising on our show. We look forward to helping your business grow. That's sales@addressinggettysburg.com.
You're listening to the Addressing Gettysburg podcast with Matt Galore.
Sprayed with potassium sorbate to prevent mold growth. You're back with Matt and Veronica.
Yes. You are back with us. That is the absolute truth. I should have gotten spooky music, but I didn't think of that until right now. I never get into the holiday spirit until the day of the holiday, and then I'm like, oh, this is what I should have done. Anyway, joining us now is a friend of ours. He owns possibly one of the best, if not the best, and most unique museum in town. I mean, you will never find artifacts like this in any other museum in the world. Right. I'm going to be bold and make that statement. It's Erik Dorr from the Gettysburg Museum of History. Erik, how you doing?
Pretty good. Thank you for that introduction. And I have to say, it is the best.
There you go. Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. There you go.
So.
Well, we just had guys from another museum on, so
okay.
I don't want to.
Sorry, guys.
But no, I mean, honestly, if I'm being honest, your museum and the Seminary Museum are my two favorite museums.
Me too.
Yeah, like I like to go to both of them. I think the exhibits that both of them have are fantastic. But you've got some stuff that you just can't find anywhere else, and it is Halloween.
Right.
And so I said, bring some, macabre type stuff, and I like to pronounce the "r" at the end.
I noticed.
So what is the first thing that you have here, Erik?
Okay, so when you asked me to bring some items, you said I had a limit of 3.
Yes.
Which, I have a lot more than that. So it was a tough choice.
I wanted it to be a challenge for you.
Okay.
To pare it down to 3.
Well, the first thing I brought, I thought it would be interesting since you're primarily a Gettysburg show, right. A nice Gettysburg relic that is very macabre, and that is a human bone, leg bone, with a bullet in it.
Oh, here, I'll hold it up to the camera while you talk about it. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so that was an amputated limb, and it has a musket ball in it, and it has an old museum tag. I believe it was in one of the early GAR or maybe Danner exhibits. But, when we first got that, maybe 15 years ago, a lot of museums over the years have taken human remains off of display, and they substitute them with models and things like that. But, I went back to the Gettysburg GAR Hall, that we have here in town that's now Sons of Veterans. Yeah. And they still have part of their collection there, and they have one in there. So I thought, if the GAR guys who had the original museums, had that in their exhibits, I thought, well, I'm fine with it
right,
too.
Sure.
If they were fine with it, I'm fine with it. So
what is it about? Why don't museums have human remains anymore? Is it just considered to be
controversial? I guess.
Yeah.
And medical museums do. The Army Medical Museum, which is now the National Museum of Health, I believe. They have Sickles leg bone in there.
Yeah.
And there are certain museums that do have them, but they're usually a medical type exhibit. But I know the old Rosenstiel collection here in Gettysburg used to have some bones with bullets in, and they made the decision, I don't know, a long time ago, like maybe 10 or 15 years ago, to take all those remains and bury them out at the cemetery. So there's a little grave out there that says, I think it says just Civil War remains.
Our cemetery.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's in the National Cemetery. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
okay.
I think that's where that stuff came from, and I think they made casts of some of them.
So it's not that they decided we're just going to keep them in the archives. Like, no, we're just going to bury them.
Yeah.
The way
Yeah.
And do people, when they come in and see these things, do they go, have you gotten any kind of criticism for that, or?
Not really. I mean, the way I also look at it is it's medical waste. It's not really, it's not like a grave. It's not grave robbing or anything like that. So, this was a discarded limb. So it's a medical
waste
specimen, I guess. Yeah.
Well, and also, like, if you've got a museum that is around, based around war.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a part of war.
It's educational, and it shows, a musket ball, that's a 69 caliber musket ball embedded in there, and then it shows where they actually did the amputation.
Yeah.
So it's a very educational specimen, in my opinion.
And what do they do? Lacquer that? Is that what's on there?
Yeah. We wouldn't do that today, but that was done a long time ago.
Right. I've noticed, like, some of the exhibits that you have that are old, I don't know what you call them, but, like, where they'll make like some kind of like a tree or a pyramid or something out of relics, and everything seems to be lacquered.
Yeah.
But that was a thing that they did, I guess, to protect it, right?
Yeah, and even some of the World War II stuff. We have a lot of helmets that came out of a collection in Normandy, and even some of the World War II helmets that were in relic-y condition have a lacquer over them, and we would never do that today.
Yeah.
You keep it temperature controlled is the way to deal with rust now.
Sure.
But back in those museums in Normandy, it's near the beach, and
That's salt air.
Yeah. So a couple of our helmets have that lacquer on it.
Speaking of Normandy and your collections there, the Band of Brothers room is awesome, and what I really love about it is some of the stuff that was found on the sea floor. It's got the barnacles on it and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever come into town, and I say this all the time, but you really do have to check this museum out. It's 219?
219 Baltimore Street. The website's GettysburgMuseumofHistory.com.
And Erik is always in there. Almost always, right?
Almost always.
Almost always.
I went to the Civil War Collectors show today, or the Antique Arms show today, so I was away for a while.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But you do have a chance of bumping into Erik when you're in there. What else you got here, Erik?
Okay, so I brought 3 items, but I thought at least one of them should not involve human remains. So, and it was really tough because I was like, do I bring the blood-stained Hitler couch? Do I,
Right.
But
you don't have the whole couch. You
no,
have
I
a
have
swatch.
a piece of it with the blood on it. But this is a set of ropes that hung Charles Guiteau, the assassin of President Garfield.
Oh, cool.
With a letter from the jailer. And the reason why there's 3 ropes is because one is for his hands, one was for his legs, and one was for his neck. They would bind people so their legs wouldn't flop around when they're going through the trap. So, and they would use a more gentle, softer rope for your hands because they would naturally try to tear out of them.
Sure.
And then the coarser one to wrap around the legs so their legs wouldn't get stuck. And then, of course, the rope for the neck. And it has that really cool letter there from the jailer.
Yeah, the letter, let me see if I can make this out. I certify that the piece of rope which I this day gave to Mrs. Amelia, I can't make out that last name, is a piece of the identical rope with which the what? Oh, the assassin, Charles Julius Guiteau, was hanged June 20th, 30th?
Yeah,
I can't make that out.
Yeah.
1882.
Wow.
And then it's got the guys. So here are
an actual hanging rope.
So here are the ropes. Where are we? Over here. Okay. And there's the letter, obviously. And then picture. Is that a picture of him hanging?
Yeah.
Oh, look at
it's
that.
It's a engraving. Yeah. And interestingly enough, they have Charles Guiteau's skeleton at the Army Medical Museum or the National Museum.
Really?
Yeah. It was donated maybe by the family or maybe by force to be a medical specimen because when somebody hangs, it does stuff to their neck. And I got a special behind the scenes tour there one time, and I got to go into and look at some of the stuff that they don't have on display, and they have his entire skeleton in a specimen drawer there.
And what does it look like?
Just like a regular skeleton. There's nothing different about it.
You don't see like a break or anything?
No.
So maybe he's strangled.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
yeah.
man. Well, that serves him right.
Right. And he's one of the assassins of the presidents. You think about Kennedy all the time, and you think about Lincoln, but a lot of people don't even realize President Garfield and President McKinley were also assassinated.
Yeah. I kind of feel bad for those guys because they're not remembered.
Right.
But
they certainly were at the time, though. There's a lot of memorial items for Garfield and McKinley. So,
but isn't that funny though? At the time they memorialized them, but those generations, I guess, didn't do a good enough job of passing down the horror of the story to subsequent generations, or I don't know what it is, but whatever. Yeah. Okay. So what now? What is this third thing here?
Okay. So this is an authentic shrunken head from South America. I don't know if this is showing well, but.
I'll hold it up.
Oh, and I have my water bottle in there. That's nice. Okay. So he's not hanging very well here, so I should have used the rope, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so that's an authentic human shrunken head. And I always say, we have an Egyptian mummy at the Gettysburg Museum of History, and and so I have a shrunken head, and it's not really doesn't really have a lot to do with American history, but I always say, when I try to justify having a mummy and now a shrunken head, is all good museums should have a mummy and a shrunken head and a dinosaur, but I don't have room for dinosaurs. But
wait, where's the mummy?
It's right. Well, it's in the case where the Lincoln stuff is. It's in a jar, or it's in a bell dome. It's just the head. It's the head of a mummy. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's real Egyptian. It's thousands of years old. It's
See, that's what I love about your museum is I know the room you're talking about. I know the area you're talking about. I never saw it.
Really?
And every time you go in there, you can discover a new thing. I mean, there's so much stuff in there.
It's right at eye level. I mean, I don't see how you didn't see it. But anyway.
Believe me, there's plenty of things that I never see.
Have you met Matt?
Yeah, that's true.
Not the most observant.
I walk around with my eyes closed most of the time.
So here's the thing about shrunken heads.
Yes.
A lot of people probably know them from Beetlejuice and maybe some pop culture references, but most people don't know what they are or why they are.
Yes.
And the answer to the question is it's really fascinating. How much time do we have?
Go ahead.
Okay. So there was a tribe of Native Americans in South America. They were called the Jivaro tribe. It begins with a J, J-I-V something. But anyway, they were a big tribe. They were in the Amazon jungle. They were very isolated. Until the late 1800s, they really didn't have a lot of interaction with, white people or explorers or anything like that because they were so isolated. And they were a very large tribe. And I kind of equate it to gang warfare. They would kill each other.
Yeah.
They would get upset with somebody in another faction of the tribe, and they go kill somebody's brother. Then that guy's brother would go kill somebody. And it just went on for centuries,
sure.
or at least decades. I don't know how far back the tribal warfare went back, but one of their superstitions was that they were very afraid of ghosts. So they believed that if you killed someone in battle, that their ghost could come back and seek revenge against you.
Okay.
So they were sitting around one night and they came up with this idea of how to trap the soul. So how do you trap a soul? Well, you shrink their head.
Of course.
They would, of course. I mean, why didn't we think of that?
Exactly.
But no, they would lop off the head. They would skin the skull, discard the skull, and then if you can see in the back, it's sewn up with sutures.
Yeah.
So they would sew up the back, and they would sew the eyelids and the mouth shut. And they would put hot stones in the neck.
Okay.
So it's hollow. The thing is hollow. You put hot stones in, and it would burn from the inside.
And shrink.
And shrink. And it's like it's almost like beef jerky or something like that, or like animal taxidermy.
You've tasted it?
No, I haven't. I smelled it though. But
while you're talking about, can I hold it up to the camera?
Sure. Just be real careful because he kind of falls a little bit on that stick.
I can feel it.
So when it would get too small to put hot stones in, they would put hot sand in there, and they would fill the head up with the hot sand, and then they would form it with their fingers to make sure it wouldn't totally shrivel up. And I've seen ones that are better than others. I've handled several over the years. I one of my mentors growing up in the collecting world was a guy named Robert White, and he had a huge collection of shrunken heads. And he had the world's largest collection at that time. He has passed away, and his collection was sold to the Ripley Museum. And his son kept this one, and I said, if you ever want to sell it, let me know. And so it's not only a fascinating educational artifact, but it's also a memory of one of my mentors, Robert White, and fascinating. And they're really rare. And up until about 10 or 15 years ago, they were around. Once in a while, one would come up, but then a couple of rock stars started collecting them, and the prices just went through the roof. So, I'm not going to drop names, but you would be surprised about who collects them.
Pat Boone. Pat Boone and
Pat Boone. Yeah, he's definitely one of the.
He's a big shrunken head guy. But this is amazing. Looking up close, I don't know really how good it is. Yeah, I mean,
from here I can see the facial hair, and even when you spun it around on the back of his neck.
Yes,
like the real fine.
Yes,
hair that we all have. That is
the,
amazing.
And but what's funny is his ears are. I don't know if they're actually what the size of his ears were, but they're bigger. They look disproportionately bigger to the rest of it.
Yeah, they don't shrink the same way because you can't really burn them the way the skin burns.
But his eyes, man, and the sutures around his lips, man, that's fascinating. And his hair, man, I'm jealous of this hair.
Yeah, he does have good
You
hair.
wanna hold it?
No thanks.
Okay.
So we just got him fairly recently from, like I said, my friend's son, and. I was a little hesitant to put him on display. I thought, well, maybe I'll just keep that in my office or something. But then I told one of the ghost tour guides the other night that I got a shrunken head, and her name's Ginger. Thank you, Ginger. She does tours sometimes in front of our museum, and she says all the macabre things that we have, and it almost sounds like a barker at a carnival. He's got a mummy head. He's got Hitler's shirt, so I figured she would probably start telling her tours about it, so I better put it on display. Now, I don't know what kind of reaction I'm going to get with this. A couple of people asked some questions about it, but again, some people question the morality of having something like this, but come on, folks, it's a museum. It's educational.
Right.
Did you know how to shrink a head before?
No, and I've heard of them, and I always wondered how you did it, and I didn't realize that you basically skinned the head.
Yeah, the most fascinating thing to me is that it was done for spiritual or religious reasons or superstitious reasons.
So if you have a problem with Erik having this, then you are a bigot against those people's religion.
The Hivaro.
The Hivaro religion.
Yeah.
Yes.
But head hunting was outlawed down there. They did put a stop to it. They sent Christian missionaries down there, and they did put a stop to it. I think it was in the 1950s. And so all these shrunken heads pretty much are from before then. But there's another little twist to the tale. The true tribal ones are called sansas. That's another word from their language. And they generally have really long hair. And there's some other features to them that are slightly different. So when people started going down there, people like Robert Ripley from Ripley's, believe it or not, and people would tour the Amazon. These people, wealthy travelers at the time, here they come to the Gettysburg Museum of History and they want a bullet from the battlefield. Well, they would want a shrunken head. So they started shrinking other heads from they would go into morgues and pay for people who couldn't afford to have a funeral or whatever, and they're called tourist heads, so they would sell them to tourists, literally.
Really?
But again, they put a stop to it. So all these are from the 1950s or before. This one's probably pretty late, because you can tell as they get older they start to dry out more and more, and this one still has some of the. You can see a little bit of the oil in the skin and everything. So I think he's probably one of the later ones. Now he's going to fall off.
But his hair.
Yeah, his hair's
perfect.
Great. Yeah. Got kind of a pompadour kind of thing going on there.
Now, do you know what year this is from?
Like I said, it's probably from the 50s.
So 20th century.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's probably none of them are much earlier than 1900, I would say, because contact was made with those guys. I believe in the 1860s or 1870s, but, it's still very dangerous to go around them at that time because you might end up like him.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until later that they started trading guns for them and stuff like that. So,
so remember like Gilligan's Island, they were always afraid of the headhunters?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, well, what the hell is a head? Like what? But that makes sense though that would have been a thing back then if they only outlawed that in the 1950s.
Right. And that's the thing. Like sometimes I talk to people and say, my dad was in Nam and he brought back a shrunken head. And I'm like, well, he didn't bring it from Nam. I mean, there were certainly headhunters in other cultures.
Mm-hmm.
There were headhunters in Papua New Guinea and places like that, but they didn't shrink heads. They decorated the skulls. It was a little bit different. Shrunken heads were only made by the Jivaro tribe in South America.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And here's another fun fact about shrunken heads. So they had another.
The way
cool...
your face just lit up.
No, I'm trying to make it as interesting as possible without talking too long.
No, go ahead.
So one of the animals that they have in the Amazon jungle is the sloth. Kind of like a monkey-looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens if you kill someone in battle or you knock them over the head and they get away and you're afraid they died back in camp, like their buddies brought them back? Well, you can't trap his soul, right?
Right.
So what they would do is they would go out and kill a sloth, and they would shrink a sloth's head. And I swear I've seen these things in collections. Robert White had a couple of them, and there's some in the Ripley museums. And so they would shrink a sloth's head, and they'd have some witch doctor or something do some kind of a ritual over it to give the same effect as the shrunken head. Like, okay, you probably killed this guy. To make sure we will trap his soul, we will kill this sloth to be a substitute for the person. Pretty wild religion, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
Do you have, I'm fascinated.
I am too, right.
Are there accounts like, was it like the whole tribe would get together and it was some big like ceremony, or was it just the warrior that killed the person?
Yeah, they'd have a potluck dinner.
I mean, I'm kind of being serious.
Well,
I mean, like, was it like a big...
little is known about the actual ceremony except for what they were told. I don't think, people who were documenting this thing got to sit in on that.
Yeah.
There had been some explorers that went down there and interacted with them, but there's still a lot of mystery around it. There was a book that came out, I'd say, 10, 15 years ago about shrunken heads. This doctor, his name was Dr. James Kastner, I believe. He went down there and he, talked to some of the Jivaro people who remembered when this was going on. And some people that were still alive at that time who saw it happen. And so he interviewed a lot of them, and he brought out this book, and it's called Shrunken Heads. And it's a big color book, and he went around and photographed some of the collections, and he photographed Robert White's collection, the guy I was talking about before. This one's pictured in the book.
Oh, yeah?
And he also photographed, the Ripley Museum, the famous Ripley's, believe it or not. Almost every one of their museums across the world has at least one shrunken head.
Huh.
And they're the ones who bought Robert White's collection when he passed, except for the one that his son kept.
And, considering the age of the thing and the process of how you make it like this, it's in good shape. Like you can make out.
It is.
Like Veronica said, his goatee.
Yeah.
Like his facial hair is like almost perfect.
Right. And I've seen some that were not in good shape. Like sometimes people get them, and like their wife sees it and get that thing out of here.
Yeah.
And so it ends up like improperly stored, like in a box somewhere, and it ends up getting deformed, and and also bugs can get at them. I've seen ones that had bug damage and stuff like that. I've seen ones where the bugs totally ate the hair, like in taxidermy. Like sometimes you see the bug damage in taxidermy. So this is a really nice, well-preserved example.
Have you named them?
No, somebody else just asked me that question, and
I think we need to name them.
Well, no, like here's the thing, like. It's funny how everybody's morals are a little bit different when it comes to this kind of stuff, because it is a little bit sensitive.
Sure.
And I always think this was a person, and he had a name in real life, and so like, I have an Egyptian mummy. I have not named the Egyptian mummy. So I just always think that I don't know. disrespectful to name them.
name them?
Although it's perfectly respectful to put them on display in a museum. But,
Right. Yeah, I think you got to name it and put it in quotes so that it indicates that,
Well, hey, do we have callers?
I don't know. Let me see. I didn't call for it. No, we don't have any callers.
Oh, darn. I told JD to call in. Come on, JD.
Come on, JD. That would be good, though, if people had called in. And well, you know what we could do? We can make this a thing that'll go on for the next couple of weeks, and then I will let you know the names. I'll write them down.
All right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't do it today, next few weeks, call in, give us a name for Eric's shrunken head, David Byrne. And let us know, and then I'll let him know, and then he can choose from them.
This is going to be another one of those Team Beaver things, man. I'm with Eric. I mean, the guy was a person. Like, you don't think you name it. I don't know.
Team Beaver.
A person. But you know what? I'm jealous of his hair.
Yeah.
And so, but I think name him. I mean, otherwise it's just a random head.
I mean, I know it would be impossible, but it would be pretty damn cool if you could actually find out the guy's story. I mean, I know that would be.
Or like a common name in that culture.
Or we could do a DNA test. Find his relative.
Send it into 23andMe.
There you go.
Yeah.
See if they can find anything.
Oh,
Or
that's
just do
another
a cheek
thing.
swab.
I watched the episode with Eric, and he came in the museum the other day, and I told him this.
Eric.
That was a great episode.
Which
the farewell.
episode? Oh, the last one.
Yes.
Last week, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
That was, that was
We're going to miss
very moving,
Oh,
but it was also very well done with jokes. And you took a sad song and made it better, by making it.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah. By making it funny, and
Well,
because it is it's
it is sad.
Sad thing,
But we have fun with Eric, and
Yeah.
so why wouldn't we have fun on the
Absolutely.
announcement
I just
show?
thought it was really well done, and I wanted to tell you that. So.
Thank you very much. Well, again, 219 Baltimore Street, folks. You're open Wednesday through Sunday, right?
Yep, Wednesday through Sunday.
Even in the
11
winter?
until 5. I usually dial it back in the winter, but as long as people are coming in, I'm going to stay open. We have another employee now, so that's pretty cool.
Good. And it's a free museum.
Yeah, no charge.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could just go in and walk around. Of course, you could donate. There's a donation box, right?
Right.
So you could donate. You could buy some stuff there. Also, you could buy artifacts online.
Yep. GettysburgMuseumofHistory.com.
Awesome. And then you have a Facebook page. You have an Instagram page?
Yeah.
You do?
Yep.
You don't really work it as much?
I don't, but the girl we hired, our new manager, is starting to work it a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I follow it, but I never see any posts.
Yeah, well, we're starting to post a lot.
Okay,
so,
good.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, thank you very much. Good luck with everything, your shrinking heads and everything like that. And I hope, I know people will come in because I hear from people all the time that they stop in there. That's really cool. Thank you for bringing all that stuff. And I hope, ladies and gentlemen, that has spooked you a little bit in this Halloween season. Ooh. I really should have had music for this. I'm sorry. All right, Eric, thank you very much.
All right, thank
Cheryl,
you.
good to see you.
Thank you so much.
So, Veronica, what did you think? You saw a shrunken head and you handled a bone.
Yeah.
A human bone.
I don't know why the bone's not freaking me out. The shrunken head, I got, I'm a little.
Well, he's
squeamish
staring
about
right
that.
at you.
Yeah. Well, at first, I honestly, I was like, wait a minute, but it's just the eyelids are closed, right? And
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's really wild. That is really wild. Thank you for sharing that. Because and honestly, I mean, if we wouldn't go to the museum, we wouldn't get that whole complete background story. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Unless you just cornered Eric
Fascinating.
and said, hey, tell me about this.
Educational.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you very. I don't mean to kick you out, but we have to. We have a very tight schedule now. Very tight schedule. All right. So now, you, Veronica, where do you have to go again?
Home Depot.
You've got to go to Home Depot.
Yeah.
Yes, very important to go to Home Depot.
Electrician's coming again tomorrow to finish up the job, so we want to get the cheap stuff.
Right. Of course.
Important. It is very important.
Oh, absolutely.
You're laughing, but I'm.
No. I would do the same thing because, of course, they're going to charge you more if you get it through them.
Like
so
3 times more for the same smoke detectors and.
And the guy was
lights
nice
and
to tell
everything.
you.
It was very nice. Yeah.
He didn't have to do that.
He did not.
So that was nice of him to do. All right. Well, then, so let's see. I guess.
News or events first?
She's the gal who knows what's going on.
Thanks,
so
sir.
take notes. There's a test at the end. Here's AG Today's lead anchor, Veronica Brestensky, with news, traffic, weather, sidewalk conditions, and what's happening this weekend.
I must have all possible information.
All right, Ronnie Ronstadt with the news. Sorry, I didn't have a clip to play there.
No, that's
so
okay.
go ahead.
That's actually, I appreciate that. So we can just skip right to the events because there's no real news.
You're kidding.
No, I mean, other than your
This weekend, where the action is.
What's there to do and see when you're in town this weekend? Here's Valerie, Veronica, to fill you in.
It's all covered.
Bill and Cindy can come in now.
Okay. So go ahead, Ronnie. What do you got for us in the news? Oh, we don't have news. We have events now. So what are the events?
So unfortunately, we're all missing John Hoptack's campfire tonight, but he was presenting on Fantasyland. However, tomorrow,
really?
Yeah,
Oh.
and I've seen that at the winter lecture.
Yeah,
It was really
yeah.
quite interesting because I don't remember. I was never here for Fantasyland. I don't remember any of that.
No, that was before my time.
Yeah.
But where we are now is essentially where Fantasyland was.
Yeah, that's crazy. I never put two and two together until I saw his presentation. I was like, wow, like because the quarry and everything is like pictured in that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and
anyway.
apparently, I think in the woods out there somewhere, there's still like pylons and stuff that they, just like some ruins
Yeah.
of Fantasyland.
That'd be cool. That would be neat.
So yeah, that would be cool if you could see that.
Anyway, so that our buddy John is doing his campfire, but the last one of the season is tomorrow night with Chris Gwynn. He's going to be talking about the final reunion of the Blue and Gray survivors of Civil War veterans. So 6 o'clock for the campfire, and then tomorrow and Sunday there are your last two opportunities to catch the battle walks for the season. Tomorrow, the 29th, is going to be Ranger John Nicholas doing Culp's Hill July 3rd. So if you want to do that, it's at 10 a.m. Just meet at Culp's Tower, 10 to noon. And then on Sunday, the final one of the season, Ranger Carlton Smith is going to be talking about McGilvery's artillery and the Confederate cannonade.
When is that? On Sunday?
That's on Sunday at 10 o'clock. And if you're interested in that, meet at the intersections of U.S. and Hancock Avenues.
Okay.
All right. So those are 2
And
hours.
at what time on Sunday?
10.
10 o'clock.
10
okay.
both days, yeah.
Thank you.
And then just a reminder, the David Wills House is still open for the season. It will be closing the weekend of November 19th, which obviously coincides with Dedication Day. So the hours for the Wills House are Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 1 to 5 only. It's a very small window, but every weekend now through the 19th. So if you're interested in that, go head over. I believe it's still free. So go on over. Also a reminder, our friends over at the Children's Museum, this weekend, for example, they're having living historians in the side.
The lawn.
Yeah, for the kids on the 29th and the 30th. And that's really about it. I mean, just a little reminder, support your local Civil War Roundtable. Hire a licensed battlefield guide when you come here. Check out the little, we have fantastic resources, and I don't want to.
Sure. And listen, if you have a Civil War Roundtable within a 3 or 4 hour drive of here, Veronica and I are for hire. We will come and talk to you. Bill Etzkorn will also come and talk to you.
I meant I'd hire you.
Oh. Well, yeah, we'd like to go up to that way again. You've never been up there, but it's a nice little area where they are. All right. Well,
Cindy and I are on the board of one.
Well, I can't believe it took you this long. I was hired to come out and speak by someone out in Pittsburgh before you.
We talked about this last year, Matt. You coming to speak.
Well, I don't remember that.
Real quick, I will throw out a real quick plug. The local Civil War Roundtable, the Gettysburg Civil War Roundtable, they are still taking orders for the pen sets made out of one of the John Reynolds witness trees, the one that was felled in 1987. There are certificate of authenticities that tree when it fell was dated over 240 years, so it was absolutely a witness tree at the time of the battle. And we're selling them for $50 per set. You can get the information either from the Facebook page or from the website, Gettysburg Civil War Roundtable. Also, if you're in town, the annual holiday festival is on December 1st, and it's at the Dobbin House. Kent Masterson Brown is the headline speaker. It's fairly inexpensive. I think it's like $37 or something per person. It's a nice buffet layout with an evening of entertainment.
Fairly inexpensive, says the lawyer.
Well, no, I mean,
right. We're all struggling to rub two pennies together. I'm just teasing you. I'm teasing.
Yeah, thank you. Get off me.
Get me to pay.
Get off me.
So wait.
So anyway, that's December 1st.
Now the Christmas festival lasts like a couple weeks, doesn't it, or is it a couple weekends? I'm always confused over how that.
Christmas festival, yes,
Yes.
in town. That wasn't what I was.
What
talking about.
are you talking
I was
about?
talking about the Christmas banquet for the Civil War Roundtable.
Oh, sorry.
Not even close.
Yeah, no, I just hear Christmas
Not
or
even
holiday
close.
or festival or whatever.
So
Okay, so
that's it.
all right, good. So
Bill
Bill,
and Cindy have some things going on this week.
yeah, what's going on? What are you doing?
Cindy and I will be with the 6th New Hampshire at Spangler Spring this weekend. 3 fire demonstrations on Saturday, 10, 1, and 3.
Okay.
And Sunday at 10 and 1.
All right. What's the weather supposed to be like this weekend?
It's going to be nice-ish.
Okay.
Better than when we were here in July with 100 degrees in Wool.
Yep. Sure.
But it's going to be chilly at night, so.
Oh, well, you know what? Well, you get to snuggle up with your funny little honey, you know?
Yes.
Waddle-deedle-daddle-day.
Waddle-doodle.
Waddle-doodle.
So if you do the Saturday Culp's Hill tour
Yeah.
with the Park Service.
Stop by. Say hi.
I can't see that they wouldn't include Spangler Spring.
Well, I don't know. I don't know where he's focusing, so who knows? We'll see. But maybe in case they don't focus on Spangler Spring at all,
we will be
on
right
your
there.
way up to the tower. You should stop by and say hi to Bill and Cindy.
Yes.
Down in the spring. There you go.
Bill and Cindy could probably shed some more light on a reminder for our Christmas party.
Yes.
Possibly.
Yes.
Yep.
December 10th.
December 10th. And Cindy, this week I'm going to set up Fair Harbor so people could start making reservations. Wonderful.
Nice. Yes, we have the entire tavern
We've
to
got
ourselves.
all of Sweeney's Tavern to ourselves, yeah.
That's
And we're just getting together. That's it.
In case anybody's wondering, I take a size Napoleon cannon.
What?
For my gift.
You take a size Napoleon cannon for your gift?
Yeah.
What do you mean a size Napoleon?
what I
He wants a
want from
12-pounder
Santa.
for Christmas.
Yeah, but what do you mean size? What are you talking?
I was using a
Jokes
pun.
about like
I'm going to go sit in the pun.
All right, Bill. Thank you very much for that.
you.
What is this we have in the corner here? I think you're going to have to switch, Bill.
Yo.
You're going to have to
Yup.
switch with this because
Yup.
this is a sight to behold.
Sorry, folks.
So, like I said before, Cameron texted me earlier and he said, I have something for the show. I thought he meant like a gift to give the show. Put your hat on, Cameron. We got to
Veronica
see.
was correct. It does involve animal parts.
It does, yes. All right, so here we go. Cam Bridger. And what are we looking at? You got more stuff on since last I saw you. First of all, Cameron pulls up and parks like a jackass. We're all standing outside during the break, and he parks across like two parking spaces. And he gets out of the car. He tries to get out of the car, and I just yelled, "Park like an adult." And he got back in the car, and he said, "Fine." What are we looking at, Cam?
Just my new outfit. Been waiting about since June.
Your new outfit.
that's it.
What do you mean your new outfit? Like you're going to be wearing this around?
No, it's
My new outfit
You
for
are right now. You're currently wearing
I
it
just
around.
wanted to wear it to show it off because I'm excited about
my
it.
new outfit for teaching.
No.
You going to wear this at school?
No.
All right, now stand up a little bit so that we can get a full.
It's like the WVU mascot, isn't
It
it?
does.
I mean, it's really like the mountain man or whatever.
There was a woman out west at Fort Union.
Could you talk into the microphone? The microphone's halfway across the room, and you're just talking like we. Go ahead.
Over the summer, I got talking to a woman down in North.
Janelle.
Oh, Janelle, better look out.
No.
Cameron's on the prowl.
No, I told the woman that there's a couple other projects in the works back home with the anniversary reenactment of Fort Seibert, where I had ancestors got captured by the Native Americans and taken to Ohio. And I also got family fighting about Point Pleasant. I always wanted to go help recreate those events.
Right.
In those events. So she actually made all the outfits that we wore at Fort Union.
Oh, cool.
And so she made me this. I paid.
How much did you pay for that, if you don't mind me asking?
It's actually cheaper than a Civil War uniform.
I bet it. Well, what is the material?
It's like a heavy
What's-
felt or something.
It's felt. Let me see. That's not felt.
Canvas.
That's like canvas, yeah, or jean or something.
And she actually hand sewed this whole outfit for me.
Yeah. And now stand up a bit so that the camera can get like the full view. Now back up like towards Eric. This is your camera here. Face this camera, Cameron. There you
I
go.
don't have my new pants on for this.
Thank God. Oh, you don't have your new pants. Well, put your pants on. Now, what do you got? Show us everything. What's hanging around your neck?
One of my little pocket knives.
A pocket knife. Bring that microphone up to your mouth.
I got a neck knife. Just for weight, I got my.
No, bring the microphone up to your mouth. Thank you.
I got my just a pistol holding in this pistol holster.
A pistol holding in this pistol holster.
It's my Civil War pistol, just for looks.
Okay, just for looks. Because they didn't have Civil War pistols when this was the getup, right?
No, this would actually been something possibly they would have carried out at Fort Union yet.
Right.
A Colt revolver.
Oh, it was revolver times when you were okay. Sorry.
And then I got my Bowie on this side.
Your Bowie knife.
Yeah.
All right, and then
I got another knife behind on my back.
what is that? A rawhide canteen?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Where'd you get that?
Out there at Fort Union.
Oh, I was gonna say,
I
that's-
bought everything came from Fort Union.
Yeah,
From
and
people.
so
I
what-
bought it all out there.
All told, if somebody wants to dress up like Cam Bridger, what do they? How much are they going to be spending on this?
I spent probably about $600 all told.
$600.
Yeah. Which I got some of the.
You
stuff
spent
on sale.
$600. How often are you going to be wearing this for the public?
Couple of events a year, maybe. Mostly still doing my Civil War.
$600. Okay. I mean, I did. It's cool. I'm just saying. I wouldn't spend $600 on that. All right. So then, what is this other thing on your belt
I'd
here?
say it's about $500.
Okay. Well, let's. Okay. Never mind. What is
It's
the?
like across the time zones, the price exchange correlates.
It's the exchange rate. Yeah.
The closer you get to Little Bighorn.
Yeah. Right. The closer it gets to Little Bighorn, the cheaper it is. The closer to 500.
It's like a little wallet.
Oh, like like a coin purse.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that, Bill? Yeah, I know. There's nothing in that wallet after spending $500 on the thing.
But I'd always wanted one of these outfits. So, like, occasionally when I'm not doing Civil War and there's these other events I can go to honor some of my early heritage.
Yeah.
I can go do it because that's been also a side interest.
You have Mountain Man heritage?
His ancestors were kidnapped.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't listen to only just not me. Yeah, he
Well,
doesn't listen to everybody.
I can't understand what he's talking about half the time.
Well, very funny.
Hey, he just he talks like I already know the
but-
background.
There's an event that's been going on for about 30 years down in Fort Sybert, Fort Sybert, West Virginia.
Okay.
Where they recreate this massacre where Kill Buck came in to raid settlements. The men were off gathering food. There was only like 3 women, and all women and children in the fort. And the Native Americans surrounded the fort, talked them to come out of the fort, and then they said they'd be let go if they leave the fort. But then they all got captured. And every year in
Stop,
September,
I want to know what happened.
Oh, sorry.
I'm glad I don't hear what he's doing. They recreate this massacre every single year
That sounds
to commemorate
wonderful.
the names of people that were names are lost to history from that event.
Do you get to announce the name of your?
Yeah, they actually have some of us that are just direct descendants.
Are they from the Marsh side or the Mallow side?
There is no Marsh side. It's all Mallow.
I thought the Marshes and the Mallows got together.
No.
The Marshmallow wedding.
Oh. Oh.
Thank you, Bill.
I was going to correct you and say the swamps.
Swamps. The Swamps and the Mallows got together and made the Swamp Mallows. The swamp. All right. And then the last thing, though, here, your hat.
Yeah.
The coonskin hat.
Yeah.
And that's like real.
Yeah.
That's not something you bought off of Amazon. Let me see this.
Nope.
Let me
was
see.
actually
Oh, wow.
hand-done.
Feel that fur. That is nice.
You can see the tanning on the bottom.
Well, you could also see the face of the little thing. Look at that.
Hello, I'm Rocky Raccoon.
Oh, my God.
And I am on Cameron's head. Rocky Raccoon checked into his room. What are you laughing at, Cameron? Stop laughing at me.
Do you play with Rocky at home?
No, he hangs on the wall.
I'm going to see. Let me put it on my head
Oh,
here. Do you
bruh.
think it'll fit me? You don't have lice or anything, do you?
He's stretching out your hat.
I just stretched out your hat, Kim. Sorry.
Can't let him do
Wow,
that.
I like this. Now, how much is this thing?
That cost me about $40.
Where'd you find it?
I bought it at a the
$40
Rendezvous event.
at a Rendezvous?
Well,
It's pronounced Rendezvous.
Rendezvous.
Okay.
I bought the canteen, the haversack, the belt, the pistol holster. I bought all of this for about $100.
Okay. Nice.
In just one day, and because people are nice out there, they gave me great deals.
Right.
So I just couldn't help myself but purchase it. And
That's
then
awesome.
A woman said, "You're trying to get an outfit," so she
made you an outfit.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, good, Cameron. Thank you. If anybody has any mountain man needs, contact Cameron. He'll put you in touch with whoever you need to get in touch with. Thanks for coming by and showing us this, Cam.
I would apply for the Mountaineer mascot.
No, you got to be a WVU student for that, actually. And the WVU's got actually that students voted on by the school, all the students at WVU.
Oh, wow.
Well, I think you
You'd
could
have
get
my
them to
vote.
vote for you.
Yeah, you'd have my vote.
They would vote for you. We could start a campaign if you want.
No. You've all been supporting me enough these past few months.
We have.
Because y'all showed up at Harper's Ferry.
Not
No,
y'all.
she did.
Not y'all.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
You want to know?
We did.
I know you. Yeah.
Don't give him credit
her and her
for
mom.
things
What's
he-
her mom's name?
Mom, for things he doesn't deserve credit for. Don't
Yeah.
give him credit
I'm
for
not going to.
Well, I urged her to go. She wanted to stay here to sit in on a recording that we were
'Cause it was
doing, but I
women.
said
That made
no.
more sense. I
You
would be
have
with
to
the
go to
women.
Cameron's and record it for me. And I haven't gotten through it, but next week I'm going to go through it, and next week
you
we'll come.
also had a chance to meet my girlfriend last week.
Yeah, but I was recording a show and I couldn't come. That's why. Otherwise, I would have been there. Oh man, go to Harper's Ferry and listen to Cam talk.
No. Last Sunday, she was here in town. Her mom.
Oh, right.
The whole family was here. I showed them around the battlefield, and
Yeah.
I even told you ABC.
That's right. I know, but I was. But Cameron, I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man.
I'm busy too, but I.
No,
come
you're
up
not.
here
You're not.
every
You're
Friday.
not busy. You're not busy like this. I got a lot of sleeping to do. So, what is Veronica's mom's name? Come on, just guess. Guess it. Don't say mom.
Just say mom.
No, don't say mom.
Mom's good.
Come on now. Does it begin? What does it begin with?
He wouldn't know. Don't put him on the spot.
He's always put me on the spot.
I know. Everybody calls her mom.
The mother of Addressing Gettysburg.
There you go.
There you go.
You goddamn son of a bitch.
Oh, this.
You goddamn mean
but
son of a
even
bitch.
a cool part. Since I did that talk at Harper's Ferry, there's a gentleman who's a local historian back home. He's actually now gave me all the contacts for. He's actually gave
Eric
me
just
some.
plopped the hat on his head.
He just actually gave me contacts for some people that actually knows where some of those actual sites are from my talk that Veronica and her mom got to hear.
I haven't listened to it yet, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, and I found out my one great uncle's house, Abraham Mallow's cabin, still stands where that incident happened on Timber Ridge.
Oh, wow.
And they're actually going to take me to the site.
That's really cool, Cam.
Oh, nice.
That's like legitimately very cool.
And I get to actually go in the house.
That's neat.
So there's actually some.
Yeah, it was nice.
There's
knowing
actually
you.
some
nice
what?
knowing you, Cam.
Then there's another couple people that's going to show me where this 2 raids happened at in the same area on the other side of the mountain. So in the next couple of months, I'm going to be getting get feet on the ground where these actual events happen, which is going to help elevate my book when it's done. 'Cause I'll actually have actual pictures of the sites to go with the book. So just drawings, I'll have actually pictures, and come find out over 90% of the buildings that I talked about that night, now I've learned is still standing.
Oh, neat. That's pretty neat.
amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Aldersman, Broadison, that's pretty good for any Civil War sites of dealing with
That they're still here. Yeah, right. Especially in the mountains, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Cameron. Well, thank you very much. We have to get going. We have so many things that we have to get off to. And we're leaving. Veronica has to go to Home Depot.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And what else? We have a goodbye dinner for Eric through Getty's Bike, so we've got a lot of things to do. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks to the guys from the Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center and Erik Dorr for bringing all those macabre things in from the Gettysburg Museum of History. That was pretty. Did you see the shrunken head?
I've seen full mummies before in West Virginia. So that's
See, again, you're doing the politician thing. I said, did you see the shrunken head?
Well, the funny
and you're
part
telling
is
me
it's-
about trips
yes,
to Italy. What?
I saw it on YouTube, but I've actually seen.
Cameron, have you seen the shrunken head? I've been to Italy.
Oh my.
No. Okay, I'm sorry. I understand, Cameron. Okay, thank you very much.
At Otterson Broderson.
Thank you, Otterson Broderson, to you as well. Otterson Broderson to all of you at home. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye, Eric. It's his last show, so farewell, old friend.
Don't worry, I can pick up where you leave
Okay,
off.
bye.
Addressing Gettysburg Today is hosted by Matt Galore and Veronica Brestensky, Esquire. Produced by Eric, the producer, Moni. Applause led by Owen the Clabber. Guests of Addressing Gettysburg Today stay wherever they want. That's not our concern. To be a guest on the show, send an email to eric@addressinggettysburg.com. Addressing Gettysburg broadcasts from the Gettys Bike Tour Studios. Get a 15% discount on your next tour with Gettys Bike. I'm Huevos Grande, the voice of Addressing Gettysburg Today. Thanks for listening.
Good night, everybody. And that's what I believe is where I'm standing. Hi. Good night, everybody.
I got hairy legs. When they saw the honored flag, they had not
You swear like flowers.
could they be restrained from breaking forth in cheers while we were marching through Georgia? Hurrah, we bring the jubilee. Hurrah, hurrah, the flag that makes us free. So we sang the chorus from the land to the sea while we were marching through Georgia. While we were marching through Georgia. While we were marching through Georgia.
Oh, shit.
If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's not a chicken.
This